Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 77 of New Slang. I'm Thomas Mooney, your host. On this week's episode, I am joined by singer-songwriter Josh Morningstar. I know it's been a minute since the last episode of New Slang, but I do have a handful of episodes that are ready to go. Be perfectly honest, brutally honest, maybe a little sharing too much. One of my absolute flaws as a human is essentially just getting a lot of early legwork done on a project, and then just never finishing it because I get hung up on small details or things that I think are going to be too much that, in all honesty, are probably not that big of a deal, that are probably not really noticed by others. I kind of get hung up on a whole lot of like little minor flaws, and instead of just releasing things, I try and think it's going to be perfect, and then I don't know. So yeah, I'm working on that. I'm trying to follow through with a lot more things. So in saying that, what I'm going to be doing now is trying to release older episodes that were just never released. That means that some weeks I'll be releasing 2 episodes, an old episode and a new episode, which I guess I probably have about 5 or 6 episodes that are recent. I've spoken with, obviously, Josh Morningstar this episode. In the last couple weeks, I've also spoke with Isaac Hoskins, who is the most recent Blue Light singer-songwriter winner. I've done interviews with Terry Klein and David Beck of David Beck's Tohono Weekend, Jared Morris and Zach Nytomt, Jeff Crosby and Nathan Wells of the Dallas band Ottoman Turks. So be on the lookout for those. Which also, I am developing a couple of new shorter podcast shows, I guess. As you know, like most New Slang episodes, they run somewhere between that 30 to 1 hour plus range. But I have a couple of ideas for podcasts that'll be more in that 15 to 25 minute range. They're a little bit more loose story or narrative driven, narrative based in a way. I'll probably just start them out here on this feed, but if they are doing like super well and are getting a lot of positive feedback, I'll move them on to their own. Which also, again, speaking of old interviews, I was organizing old interviews a couple weeks back, and when you have been doing something for a while, and I guess like when you start putting everything together in one folder or in one stack, if you will, you kind of are overwhelmed by just how many of something you have. And that's been the case with these interviews that I've recorded over the years. Over the years, the way I've recorded, I guess, has changed. I know this is probably super boring, but basically I used to record interviews on my Mac or on my iPhone, and then I changed to recording them on Evernote, which kept them in the cloud. And then a couple years back, I started using GarageBand. And then even more recently, I got some equipment that made it possible to record directly from my phone into GarageBand. So, a couple weeks back, I was putting all these interviews together in one folder and kind of organizing them, putting dates on them and stuff. And I realized I had upwards of like 400 interviews. So I threw out a Twitter poll seeing if there was any interest in people hearing some of these old phone call interviews. And I think I figured it up that there was about like 14, 15, 16 people who said that they weren't interested. I respect the honesty, to be honest. But there was a lot more of y'all who said that you were interested. So long story short, I have set up a Patreon page. Right now, I'm only going to do like one tier. But for about $5 a month, you'll get 2 interviews each month, one every other week. They'll be from people like William Clark Green, Terry Allen, Susan Gibson, Shane Smith, Ross Cooper, Ryan Colwell, Ryan Bingham, Jamie Lynn Wilson, Red Shahan, Ray Wiley Hubbard. I could just continue naming names, but you kind of get the point. A lot of them are really kind of like their first interviews that they had. I know for sure that I have like Red Shahan's first interview. I believe I have one with Coletto that was one of his first. Some super early ones with John Bauman, back when he was John Edward Bauman, So Randall King, and then there's also like some like all-time classic kind of figures out there. Like I have one with Gene Watson and Charlie Daniels, and I would say even a really great interview with Doug Stone. So those all may be released on Patreon. Each one of those I'll be giving a little bit of a intro where I add some additional context, some key notes. Anyways, if you're interested in that, you can go to Patreon and search for Thomas D. Mooney. I'll have a link in the description and share it on Twitter as well. So, Josh Morningstar. First off, when I was working on recording this introduction, it came across my Facebook that Josh just had some oral surgery done yesterday. The update said that he was coming out of surgery with flying colors and is expected to play his shows that are scheduled for next week. So, of course, I wish Josh a speedy recovery. It sounds like he's going to be doing well. So, anyways, I first met Josh last February. It was really like a brief introduction. He was opening up for Coulter Wall at the Blue Light, and we spoke for a second there. But this time around, he was going to be here in Lubbock, and he was opening up full band for Ward Davis, and I met him at his motel room for this interview. He couldn't have been nicer. We squeezed this interview in before they went off to do sound check. It was one of those where I really wish we had more time. I guess this is probably about 30 minutes. Because I just think like we cover some really interesting ground, but I feel like we were right on the cusp of having some really, really great stuff. There's a lot of nuance, not only in Josh's songs and his songwriting, but even the way he tells a story or answers questions, or is just thinking. I could just tell that he was not mailing it in, or just in another world or anything like that. He was just really genuine when it came to his thought process, and you can tell in a lot of ways that he had this conversation before with other people, but it just so happened that we were recording this time around. For those unfamiliar with Josh, he's a songwriter from Funkstown, Maryland. He's had a couple of co-writes and cuts by folks. Most notably, the one you'll probably most know is Must Be the Whiskey, that was put on Cody Jinks's, not his last two records, but the one before. And Josh kind of fits in that same realm of those rough and tumble, kind of up and coming country folk singer-songwriters. The guys like Coulter Wall and Ian Noe, Alex Williams, Tyler Childers, that kind of realm of quote unquote new outlaw country. I don't know what we want to call it. He released an EP back in 2018. I was going to say last year, but it's already 2020, so I'm still doing that. Despite being only like 7 songs, it really captures just a lot of facets of Josh's songwriting. He has this little bit of like some tongue-in-cheek wit and a lot of personality, but like there's this like cleverness to him, and he's also able to display some brutal honesty in the characters that he's portraying in these songs. So he again, like his EP, The Plea, it's been one of my favorite listens since he's really released it, since I saw him opening for Coulter again. So yeah, I know we talked really, really briefly in this interview about what he has coming up next. He didn't really share too many details, but you should expect something from Josh Morningstar pretty soon. So, yeah, just be on the lookout for that. If this is your first time listening to New Slang, go ahead and go and subscribe if you're listening on iTunes or on Spotify. And keep up with me on social media. You can go and find me on Twitter and on Instagram at _newslang. And then on Facebook, it's just newslang. That's really the best way to keep up with anything that I'm writing or releasing podcast wise. And of course, go in and leave a 5-star review. Tell your friends, coworkers, family, that person that you're sitting next to in class. If they're interested in music, tell them to try out the New Slang podcast. So with all that in mind, let's go ahead and get on to the interview with Josh. I guess what is it, the fade in from the the banter to the actual thing people want to hear.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you from Lubbock?
I'm originally from Fort Stockton, which is
Okay.
like south. Like, are you familiar with Marfa or Alpine? Or?
I know about the Marfa lights.
Yeah,
And
well.
I've been. I don't know. I think the sign one time said it was like 93 miles from Marfa.
Yeah.
Down that way or somewhere, but I've never been. No.
Yeah. So I'm from. It's like Fort Stockton's probably about an hour and a half from that area.
Okay.
It's on Interstate 10, right between
Good old
halfway
I-10.
between El Paso and San Antonio, in the middle of nowhere. So
You got a checkpoint down that way?
a checkpoint.
Yeah.
Not until like
Far side of El Paso.
well, there's the famous one that's in like Sierra Blanca,
Yeah.
which is like where they busted Willie and Fiona Apple. And
Oh, I didn't know they got hurt.
this was a couple years ago, and she had like a big Twitter tirade kind of thing, and then she like backtracked it and apologized and all of this kind of stuff. But
She didn't want to get fucked with anymore when
Yeah.
she come through Texas.
so there's that one, and then there's one like that's a little bit past Marathon, which is this other little small town that you're going. You would go through to get to Big Bend, or there's one on like between Alpine and Big Bend. That's really where you start hitting them.
Gotcha. Yeah, we went through. I mean, I've been through them before. I've been, from on I-10 from fucking Florida to California. But yesterday we went through one in New Mexico, right outside of Alamogordo, or however you say that. However you say that. Man, and it was the easiest one I'd ever been through. The guy, we just pulled up, and it was, "Are you a United States citizen?" I had my fucking driver's license ready. I said, "Yes, sir, I am." Okay, have a nice day. Just on through. And see, the day before, Ward, we're traveling separate. Ward and all his people, they were smart and threw out all their weed. Well, I just can't bring myself to throw out what I spent money on. So,
Yeah.
knock on wood, man, we didn't have any problems. But, yeah, it was up, that morning when you're getting ready to go through one and you have marijuana on you and you're not supposed to. It's a little stressful, can be at least, but such a sigh of relief when you make it through. And it's like,
Yeah.
man.
The last one I went through was that one like right outside Marathon.
Okay.
And I was down there. One of my buddies has a little songwriter festival down in Marathon at this motel called the Gage Hotel.
That's
It's
awesome.
kind of a bigger place, and about like 6 songwriter kind of thing, and just plays 4 shows or 3 or 4 shows each, and it's kind of like a lot of interaction. But anyways, one of the afternoons I was a little free and was driving around and went past the check-in and drove down a little bit, and just came back, and probably about like 20 minutes later was coming back up, and the guys were just kind of like, "Where are you coming from?" And I was like, did you not see me drive by?
Just talk.
I mean, like, I just drove by just a minute ago,
you mind rolling down the your window?
Oh,
And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, like they checked like the back window of my truck, but like I have like one of those bed things
yeah,
on the back of the truck. And I'm like, you want me to go open that too? I mean, like there
yeah.
is. I'm not.
Well, I think they're looking for illegal aliens,
Right.
but I mean, I watched them, the whole line in front of us. I was trying to pick up on what they were doing, and I don't see how. I mean, we could have had people stashed in there because it was nothing. We were just on through, man, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm so grateful for that. I don't know, you know what I mean, but
Yeah.
I'd like to know what their training is so they can like how they can spot just that quickly if
Right.
because they didn't have dogs around. Like
Yeah.
there was nothing, man.
Yeah.
And I was just told these little guys are felonies in Texas.
Yeah. I don't.
That's
What I
insane.
hate is the idea, like that this can be legal in more than half the states,
Yeah.
and you can just
It doesn't make any sense to me, man.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, in 2020, man, how anybody could be against marijuana, I don't understand that thought process.
Right.
I don't. And anyone I've asked about it, and I haven't run into a lot of people that are against it, but those that I have asked about it, when I've asked for reasons as to why, I've never gotten a straight answer.
Yeah.
It's always just been because, well, people driving and so, I mean, I'm a pot should be legal over alcohol guy. That's
Yeah.
I'm
The
gonna turn that off. That's gonna keep on doing.
yeah, no problem. The my dad has always been this my dad's one of those guys who's like anti-pot, but he's the where he calls all drugs dope.
Oh yeah.
And that always bothers me, and I'm like, there is a massive difference between
Yes, sir. There is.
pot and like literally basically anything else, like
Man, it's funny. I wondered. I heard. Okay, so the Family Guy did a 420 episode,
okay.
and Brian the dog got busted with pot, and he real quick in that episode he said there was a part where he said marijuana was criminalized because of William Randolph Hearst and his interests in the timber industry. Just real quick, you know what I mean? Not. But I heard that and I went digging, and I'll be damned. Like Hearst was behind Reefer Madness. You remember that
Yeah.
movie Reefer Madness? Was behind Reefer Madness. Was behind all of the anti-marijuana propaganda of the third. Like it's insane that one. I mean, it obviously wasn't just one person, but he led the charge and
Right.
had friends in such powerful places that not only was he able to get marijuana, a Schedule I narcotic, which is the same as heroin, and you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
not only was he able to do that, but he was able to just for generations now, man, generations create this stigma about marijuana and how evil and bad it is.
Yeah.
And what I never understood about it, okay, so if he's trying to protect his interest in the timber industry, why not just buy some damn hemp? You obviously have the money to do it. Like, why not just change what you're...
Right.
There can't be that big of a difference between the hemp plant and a tree. Like, I don't see...
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I don't know how we
That's-
got on this, but...
Well, the thing is, what bothers me too is obviously this country has such a opioid problem that we just kind of ignore.
Brother, I was on real dope for a while. I've been off the hard stuff for 8 years, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a doctor that got me on it.
Yeah.
It was a doctor. Back then, this would have been 2008. I mean, you could go. It was like M&Ms, dude. It was
Mhm.
like M&Ms. Just, I was having seizures, and they prescribed me a seizure medication, and they prescribed me Vicodin because I would be in so much pain when I came out of these seizures that he prescribed me pain pills.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell that to doctors now, like, they can't believe it. They cannot believe that a doctor was prescribing me Vicodin for after having just come out of a seizure. Like, and they kept me on it for about 9 months, and then just one day, And then like 2 years later, come to find out this guy's under investigation for. But anyway, that's beside the
Yeah.
point. Just cut me off one day, man. And by that point, 9 months in, you do something for 9 days or 9 months, excuse me. Anything, you're gonna be dependent on that thing
Right.
in some form or fashion. And I was hooked, brother. I was hooked, and it was a very slippery slope from the pain pills to the heroin. But the reason that I say all that is to say, man, I've seen this coming for 12 years now, and I know it's been, Kurt Cobain was a heroin addict in 1994, so this isn't a new thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Guys
Yeah.
were coming back from Vietnam strung out.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a new problem. So if we have known about it for this long, on the conservative side, let's just say 50 years. I mean, opium is an opioid and goes back for, thousands of years. But anyway, let's just say in this country, for 50 years, we've had this problem, or this one thing has been a problem for a section of our population as a country. Why, after 50 years, have we not found a solution to that? Why, after 50 years, has nothing been done about this? Well, you have to start looking into the why then, or the who. Who is making it this? Who isn't doing something? And it all boils down to money, dude. It's such big business.
Right.
That the rich get richer and the poor just get hooked on their dope.
Yeah. And like you said, like a lot of this starts out with being prescribed something by a doctor. And I'm one of these guys who people really don't talk about this, but I think if there's one law that I think should be universally supported in this country, it would be to make any kind of medical prescriptions illegal to be advertised. Because you find them in commercials, magazines, radio, and it's always ask your doctor about whatever the case is. And so what ends up happening is you get a whole lot of people going in and asking their doctors about whatever it is, and you're essentially like prescribing yourself to whatever it is that you think that you need because you saw a commercial about whatever, and you kind of fit the whatever you think the bill is for what that is. That's going to help you, and then your doctor prescribes it because it's instead of like being a doctor, I guess. And obviously there's a lot more into the whole big pharma and doctors, and there's a lot of.
Todd Snyder has a line, and it's a brilliant line. He says, "Their war on drugs is funded by the Alcohol and Tobacco Commission. It's not what drugs you're strung out on they care about so much as whose." And that's the truth, man. That's the truth. We don't want you to get this stuff over here because you're not buying it from us. And we want you to buy our stuff, and we're going to make it this big process that you have to go through to get it, and da-da-da-da-da. Don't buy. It's just all a mess, man. It stresses me out to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I care, dude. I care. I see my hometown. It's all heroin now, dude. It's all heroin. Everyone, if you're not that someone, you definitely know someone that is strung out on heroin right now. You know? And that fucking sucks, man. And it's not just my hometown. It's your hometown. It's everybody's hometown, man. And it just sucks that that's where we are. And I don't think it's definitely not all doctors. I don't want it to make it seem like that's definitely a large part of the problem, especially for people getting onto the drugs. You know what I mean? But it's not the only thing. And there's, millions of other ways to get drugs. And it sucks, man, that we as a society just want to numb ourselves.
Yeah.
We just want to be numb and not. Shit sucks, man, and it sucks, and we just don't want to think about it. We want to just forget about it and be numb, and it sucks, man. It sucks, and I feel like the more that society moves on, it's just going to get worse and worse, man. It's just going to get worse and worse, and I don't know what the end game is. I don't know where it stops. I mean, do we just become a people that just fucking hate each other, and it's constant fighting and
tribalism.
Exactly, man. Is that what we're fucking headed towards? I sure hope not, man. I sure hope not. I'm a large proponent of love and unity and peace. Nobody's perfect, and I'm not saying I don't get upset about things, but in general, I try to love, be kind, treat everyone I meet with respect, and to see how different a lot of people are from that is scary, man. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Well, relating this to a songwriting question, I was just thinking about this right now, is for large, I guess, large points of American songwriter stuff, as far as when people talk about their hometown a lot, about like the downfall of their hometown, you kind of look at the Springsteens, or like the Bob Segers, or that vein of heartland rock, right?
Yeah.
Or just American songwriting, where a lot of the problems with the small towns, or like your hometown dying, had to do with jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, a lot of more songwriting has to do with the people that end up being hooked on whatever drug of your choice. What do you think? There's a connection there, as far as like, because I'm thinking like the guys like there's that in your songs. There's like that in like Ian Know's material. You mentioned Todd Snyder, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that like that's what I guess like the quote unquote American songwriter has went from jobs leaving their hometown to this epidemic of drugs?
I think it's all connected, man. I think the good songwriters are able to not only create a story out of thin air and express that in a memorable and unique way, but they also are able to take what they see and what they live every day, make it rhyme in 3.5 minutes, and have people sing along back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So with our guys that are writing songs and the world being the way it is, I think it's bound to come out. I think it's bound to happen. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, and people wanting to be numb. You lose your job, you don't want to think about that, man. Back home, Mack truck pack up and left after 55 years or something. My grandfather worked there for 35 years and then retired from there. Mack truck's gone. There was two huge Food Lion distribution centers. They're gone. Like, these jobs are packing up and going. So, the two things that thrive in a depression are prostitution and alcohol. People always want to have sex, and they always want to get drunk. Alcohol is, regardless of what your personal opinion on it, is still a mind-altering substance. It's still used to change your, you know what I mean? Change you. You're not the same person you are drinking, So I think that people get so down about their job leaving, about their husband's job leaving, about any number of things, and it can go one of three ways, I guess. You could do the right thing, find another job, whatever. Say you can't find another job, what are you going to do? Well, I know a lot of people that when they lost their job, lost their source of income, they either turned to crime, robbing, that kind of stuff, or drug dealing. And if you weren't the one selling the drugs, chances are you were the one buying the drugs, So I think a songwriter is sitting back and looking at his environment, taking stock of what's going on in the world around him. And music is an escape too, man. And a lot of times, the person that's going through those hard times will hear this song. And I've had it happen to me, man. And it's one of the coolest things in the world. People will come up to you and say, man, I lived that song, or you wrote that song for me. So they connect with it, and hey, man, there's someone else that's been through this, man. and even if it's just for a second, it's a pick me up. You know what I mean? It's a pick me up, and they realize, hey, I'm not alone in this. And you never know what that can spark in a person. Music's powerful, man, and I think any songwriter worth his salt is able to put into words what he sees around him. But that's just my opinion, man. I think Weird Al Yankovic's a genius, and he didn't really reflect his environment. You know what I mean?
Right,
so who's
right,
to say
yeah.
what makes a good songwriter?
Yeah.
But in the instance you're talking about, I think that's probably why a lot of that comes out in music.
Yeah, I think like people, when it comes to music, a lot of times, especially like in country and Americana, we have like these hard, like there's a lot of people who take hard lines on this isn't great music just because it's commercialized. And I think like you have to realize, especially like I've been writing about music for a while now, and I think when you first get in, you want to out every Luke Bryan out there, right? But at some point you go, God, that's exhausting.
Yeah. Oh,
and you realize that there are these, I don't know if you want to call them tiers or these, there's multiple ways to be a songwriter, I guess, you know?
Yes, sir.
There, and that's just the case of it.
And people shouldn't make a mistake about it. Just because you may not like the bro country stuff doesn't mean that it doesn't take talent to write a song like that. If it didn't take talent to write a song like that, everybody on the fucking planet would be walking around with a hit song in their pocket.
Right.
Whether you enjoy it is subjective. But it's not subjective. Well, I guess kind of is, but it takes talent to write those songs. A lot of those songs, people think pop country's a new thing, man. People were saying Eddie Arnold was pop country when Hank Sr. was running around. Pop country has always been a thing. It's always going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So it's not a new problem, man. But just like, Eddie Arnold in 1949, you had Hank Sr. at the same time.
Right.
So there's always been that alternative to that pop stuff. But if you like a song or not, it's hard to argue with success, man. Just because you may not like it, there's probably 10 people over here that do. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of why it gets so hard, man, is because that machine is never going to stop churning out these people.
Yeah.
These people have, and when I mean these people, I'm talking about pop country singers. I'm not, just saying any one type of person, but it's never, that machine is always going to be pumping out pop country singers and pop country music. But it's whether you like it or not, man, it's not.
Yeah.
It takes talent to do. It takes talent to write a song that is going to make millions of dollars.
Well, that is here in Texas. Obviously, there's there's the Texas country thing, right? And that makes, in my opinion, like the more I've been around it, the more I go, this is like the same thing. It's like we have the same thing, but on a smaller level. There is that tier of, it's a different kind of bro country. People don't want to admit that though.
Yes,
and
a lot of that stuff's real popping, man.
And I guess like my whole thing on it though is that people around here, I've tried to like tell them, you need to quit dismissing these people as like, especially the songwriters, as being non-talented, because like a lot of people here look at Nashville as like the enemy, and it's like, no, man, a lot of those people are really fucking talented writers, and maybe the subject that they're writing about is not what you think, like what should be in a song or whatever. You don't relate to it, but
Man,
sometimes there's some stuff that you go,
wow,
damn it,
right?
that was fucking clever, or like, you want to hate it for
Dallas Davidson song, man. And Dallas Davidson is responsible for a lot of the Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan stuff. But I got played this demo of this song, dude, and I had tears in my eyes by the time it was done. These guys say that, or whoever, has a problem with these guys, you don't know their whole catalog.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that you would be surprised to find out are writing these pop country songs just for the money because they do something totally different. You know what I mean?
I mean,
and
Stapleton, right?
Yeah, he's a big one. A lot of people keep it hidden, though, man. Pseudonyms are a big thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's people that people would be very surprised to find out are actually behind some of these songs, and it's just crazy, man. That's what you got to keep in mind. You can't say these people writing these Florida Georgia Line songs or whoever it may be at any given moment aren't talented, because I try every single day to write a song that'll make $1 million. Is that my motivation? No. But is that a point along the way that I would desperately love to hit? Fucking right, man. I got 4 kids, right? That's another thing I don't understand. Like, I hear more and more people all the time saying, Tyler sold out or Cody sold out. You're goddamn right they sell out. Every single night, every single place they play, they sell out. Why? Pop music, pop is short for popular.
Right.
What is wrong with being popular? You know what I mean? It doesn't. Somehow the word pop got turned into, and I'm not advocating that kind of music.
Right,
I'm talking specifically about the word pop is short for popular. What is wrong with someone's music being popular? I don't understand the mentality of, I saw him 2 years ago and there was 10 people there now he sucks because he's playing these big play. Like, if you love the person's music like that, wouldn't you want to see them succeed? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I saw Cody at the Ryman the first night, and he and I knew each other, and we were more acquaintances at that point than we were friends. But I stood in that audience so proud for him and what he had accomplished, and proud of him and his whole team, because I know where Cody comes from. I've played the places the places Cody has come from. I know that motherfucker's paid his dues, and same with a lot of these other people. How are you not happy as a fan of a person? How are you not happy for that person when they obtain a success or a level of success where they're able to provide for their family? That's what a lot of people. It's not just music, man. This is a lot of people's lives, man. I haven't worked a day job in 10 years. I've been on the road 15 years. There were a couple years there where I did it. Had a day job and would travel every day. But I'd say it's been, I don't know exactly how long, for about 10 years since I've had a day job. And I have a family I need to take care of. I have bills just like you do. So does Cody. So does everybody. Coulter, Ian, whoever you want to name, man. Ward, Sonny, everyone. We all have bills too, man. And how do you stop supporting a person because somebody else is now supporting him also? I just don't get that mentality, man.
I think it has to do with like ownership of an idea of a songwriter.
Ownership of an idea. I'm so glad you said that, man.
Well,
ownership of an idea.
One of my big things that I've gotten into or onto, that's I guess my soapbox point recently, is the concept of projecting your own ideas of a person or a songwriter onto them, and then feeling betrayed by them when they're not that person that you portray, or like that you projected, man.
Sturgill.
That's the big thing right now, right?
That's the one. Yep, I've seen so much about his new record, and man, if he's making the music he likes to make, I don't think he's making music for anyone to listen to. I think he probably appreciates greatly that people do listen to and enjoy it, but I don't think he's making music for anyone. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's doing it for himself. And that new record, when I heard it, I thought it was a beautiful expression of who Sturgill is as a person right now.
Yeah.
I don't think the next record will sound anything like that. Just like this one didn't sound like the last one, and the one before that didn't, you know what I mean? I think Sturgill is one of these guys, kind of like the Beatles, that's going to have stages in his career, and this is something we won't see until years later till it plays out. But I think he's going to be one of those kind of acts where he reinvents himself pretty much damn near every time he comes out with something.
Yeah.
Sonically, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stu's pretty much looked the same the whole time, but I don't think he's going to start wearing, Sgt. Pepper's outfits like the Beatles did. But I think sonically he'll change up every single time, man. And that's one of the things that I respect and appreciate about Sturgill in particular. His music is, I don't necessarily know that you would call it an evolution. I think we're all constantly evolving, so I guess in a way it is, but more of, I'm really digging these Motown songs right now, so let me throw some fucking horns in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm listening to a lot of Pixies or whatever it was he was listening to when he was making this new record, Sabbath. I hear a lot in some of that stuff, man. Let me do something with some of that. And it's always going to be Sturgill because his voice is unmistakable, man. He's got a very unique, very, very unique voice, and you know it's him singing when you hear it. So his music is always going to be him, and I think that if you're limiting yourself to wanting him to do one thing, you're going to miss out on a hell of a ride.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we use the term artist liberally in this in music, but he is like a true artist. He is a I've been telling, I guess, like right between Metamodern and Sailor's Guide, obviously that's a big flip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was telling people that I think with him and his fan base, and it's proven to be true, is that he's going to have more fluctuation in fans than your average person, just because what he does is he's making concepts in a lot of ways, right? He's making conceptual records that have its own unique bubble of sound or storytelling, right? And with that, you're going to have people jumping on and off records where I don't like this record, you know?
Sir.
So I just think like there's, and I was going to ask you about this though too, is like one of the things that people have been really getting pissed off about was that he had said was that, he didn't want to play old songs because he didn't like these old songs.
Yeah.
Do you know like a songwriter who doesn't think like their newest stuff is their best stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think everyone I know thinks their new stuff is always their best stuff, and then as time passes, you settle in and you see how it compares to what is your best stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But I think writers feel that way because we like to think we're always improving, and
Right.
we're always trying to move ahead as opposed to going backwards, So I think that probably plays something. But yeah, maybe John Prine will tell you his old shit. Todd would probably tell you his old shit was better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But
think
they obviously have like
classics.
years of
Yeah.
perspective to go on, and I think there is definitely something with like the writer's high of what you've been working on recently. You should be excited most about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm with you there, brother. I'm one of those that always thinks my newest stuff is my best stuff.
Mhm.
I'm just never satisfied, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that do what I do that feel that way too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just never think we're our own worst critics, and we always think we could do something better.
Mhm.
I'm sure with this, you're a friend of a person. You'll listen back and analyze, or same kind of person. Excuse me. You'll listen back and analyze it, and I will too. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
That's what I think a lot of, if not all, creative people do. We're definitely over analyzers, and
Yeah, you're talking the truth there. That's you get wrapped up in your own head.
yes, sir.
What's like the last song you've been working on?
Actually, I just wrote one yesterday. I try to write every day, whether it's sitting with a guitar and writing like that, or just taking notes down in my head as I'm driving.
Mhm.
I try to write it every day. I mean, I can play it for you if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. What was that? So you haven't memorized it.
I mean, I legit just wrote it yesterday, man. What was it? Oh yeah, that song. I'm sorry. I'm a space case, man. She don't ask me where I'm going anymore before I go to leave. She says she's happy and I should know it, but she don't show it, at least not to me. The phone calls from the highway are getting fewer. It's hard for me to get her on the line. And I know somewhere there's a man and he won't do her like I do or what I do for one more chance, one more time. She don't tell me that she loves me anymore before she goes to sleep. By the way she trembled when she touched me, knew she was making love in her mind, but not to me. The morning coffee's cold as our conversation. We both do our best to choke it down, holding back my thoughts or words I spoke with hesitation. Ain't no taking back the hatred once it's out. She didn't tell me she was going. I found her diamond there beside her key. I guess I probably should have known it, but I was blind. I chose not to see. And I could try to call her from the highway. I'm sure she'd sit and listen to me, please. Sorry, just wrote it. But I just want her to be happy. She won't be happy, so I have to let her leave. I love her, so I have to let her leave. Something like that, man. Like I said, I did just write it, so
Yeah.
there's probably some stuff in there that's going to change. But yeah, that was yesterday.
So
We keep on going.
yeah. So yeah, obviously that's inspired and influenced by being out on the road. How long have you guys been out right now?
About a month. Yeah. I mean, but it's never ending, man. We go home for a couple days here and there, but we're both out every week, Ward and I. Sometimes together, sometimes not. Like, we're in Lubbock tonight, and this is the last date of this for them. They'll go home. We have Tulsa tomorrow, and then we'll go home till Nashville. And then the first week of March, our shows are by ourselves, and then we'll meet up with Ward again the second week. So yeah, man, it's never ending. And I'm lucky for that. I don't complain about that because there was a time when shows were hard to come by.
Right.
You know, so I don't complain about that. But you know, some days are easier than others.
Well, how is it? Because I know like some people have problems trying to ride on the road. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it has to be. Well, I mean, I say that, but there's going to be examples of people saying that it's easier on
Hayes,
the road.
Man, Hayes finds it very hard to ride on the road.
Well, how is it just getting into that same routine and sticking with it, or?
I think so, and I think part of the reason it's hard to do that on the road is because every day is different. There's always something you weren't planning on that ends up happening and can throw your whole day off depending on when it happens. I write early in the morning, man. I'm up with the birds, and I work best with a clear mind. A lot of times when everyone else is still sleeping, just there's something about that calmness and that stillness in the morning that makes me creative, and I don't know why, but there for a while I was doing co-writes with people, and they'd want to schedule in the afternoon. Excuse me, they'd want to schedule in the afternoon, and I just, by that time I'm so brain dead, man, because my brain never stops. I'm always thinking about something, always. It doesn't matter if I look like I'm staring at the wall doing nothing. I'm thinking about something to do with that wall. It's a blessing and a curse, man. But for some reason, I feel like I can concentrate enough in the early morning like that, and that's when a lot of my songs come. And for me, it doesn't really matter if it's the road or at home. I find that I'm more productive on the road unless, I'm doing a co-write with someone in town. But yeah, just for me, it's early morning.
Yeah, I know a lot of people obviously say they can write better at home, but then I've heard a lot of people say, well, that's whenever, like, having to pay bills and be a family man and the relationships, and that's when that all gets in not in the way, but in the way of writing. Do you think part of like the morning thing is simply because these motel rooms are sterile and kind of like it's not your own bed, and you end up waking up early anyways just because it's a foreign.
I never thought about that, but that could definitely be it, and I feel like if you're in, now that I'm thinking about it, in an unfamiliar surrounding, it kind of drives home the point of you're not home more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of being home and trying to write about those emotions, I bet if I stopped and think about it, most of I'm homesick, I miss my kids, I miss my wife stuff was written on the road, while most of anything that's about anything else was probably written at the house or somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's possible, man. I never looked at it like that. But
yeah.
You may be on something.
I always find that if I'm in a motel room, I'll wake up like way earlier than I typically do, and it's like
that's probably part of my problem too.
Yeah.
I mean, I sleep like shit anyway.
Yeah. You want to tell your Roswell rock and roll Led Zeppelin story?
Just people, man. Just people. So I talked to my manager a little bit ago. And last night we stayed, I'll even say where it is. It was at the Roadway Inn in Roswell, New Mexico. Man, I understand housekeepers having to do their job. I get it, right? I understand that person's just making a living. I understand. So she knocks on the door at 8 o'clock this morning, and I didn't fall asleep till like 4, really. I was, like I said, I sleep like shit, dude. I'm up and down all night. So I finally fell asleep at like 4. And 8 o'clock, man. I said, no thank you. 9 o'clock. No thank you. By 10 o'clock, by the time she did it at 10 o'clock, man, I was pissed off because it was the same woman. It wasn't, you know what I mean? The Roadway Inn in Roswell, New Mexico doesn't have a expansive cleaning fucking squad. So I knew she was just doing it to be a bitch, man, and I didn't understand why. I said, no, thank you. I wasn't a jerk about it. Nothing, man, nothing. But by the third time, it pissed me off, and I'm not the kind of person to really flip out on people. I will if I'm you know what I mean. If something rubs me the wrong way, I definitely will. But I like to get creative too, especially when I'm tired and been running around for fucking ever. So I had half a box of Frosted Flakes there, man, and I just flung it around the room, right? And then I took the towels and I just put them in the bathtub, not so that the tub would overflow or anything like that. I made sure that the drain was clear, just so that the towels would get cold and wet, and it would be a bitch for her to have to clean it. You know what I mean? And yeah, so apparently the woman from the hotel went on my Facebook page and posted that she hopes I never come back to Roswell, and if I do, she hopes I stay somewhere else.
She gave you a bad Yelp review.
Yeah, she gave me a bad Yelp review. And I admit to everything I did. You're damn right. I flung Frosted Flakes. They were dry Frosted Flakes. They were straight out of the boxes. They didn't have milk on them or nothing. Just dry. I just did stuff that would be a pain in the ass for her to clean up.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's all it was. I unspooled the toilet paper and pulled all the tissues out of the box. Like real Led Zeppelin-esque rock and roll stuff we're talking about here, man.
Yeah.
No. And I get a bad Yelp review. Never mind that she come banging on the door of a person. She knew she was a musician. She was standing right there when we checked in, and I was talking. We checked into this place yesterday, and Cody's song, Think Like You Think. How can you think like you think, drink like you drink, was playing on the radio station in the hotel room. Like she was standing right there. I don't know what I did to this woman. I know what I did to this woman now.
Yeah.
And she deserved every bit of it, man. You were just being a jerk to me, and you know it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah. My favorite part is like that it's, I mean,
It wasn't
it's an
destructive.
annoyance.
It was the annoyance of it, yes. And that is exactly what I was going for. I wanted her to know that she annoyed me, and I wanted her to feel how she made me felt. Because there was no reason for her to do that. I understand one time. One time, I get it, dude.
Well,
and maybe even you forget. I let you pass twice. 10 o'clock, you're just fucking with me, man. The third time, you're just fucking with me.
Outlaw country.
Yeah, that's right. Outlaw country, buddy. Hashtag outlaw country. Hashtag blessed.
Yeah. Obviously, like your last record was out in 18. What's I guess like in the plans now? What's your?
We got stuff coming, man. It's coming. I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not, so I'm going to err on side of caution.
Mm-hmm.
But it's coming. There would be. I can say I'm sure there's something this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. I just wake up every morning and hope there's a place to play that night, man. I'm not big on the studio. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think one day I'll definitely be a guy that puts out a live record. I'm definitely a live guy, and I feel you have to see my live show to really get me and what it is I do. I'm not a singer. I'm not a musician. I'm a songwriter, man. I write them and I sing them because I enjoy doing that. You know, and so I feel like you have to see me live to understand who I am and what I do. And not everybody's able, you know, I haven't been everywhere. I've been a lot of places, but not quite everywhere yet. And so I think a live record is definitely something that I want to do one day, whether it'll be this year or, you know, a couple years from now. I'm not the one in charge of that, man. I write them, I sing them, and I go to the next one and leave everything else to the professionals.
Yeah. Obviously, you've gotten some cuts with Cody.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like having a song that you've written be obviously performed by someone else, especially like a friend, and them putting their fingerprints on it and making it more well known,
Brother,
and making you by proxy more well known?
I am so fucking grateful to each one of my friends, man, because before we worked together at all musically, this Cody, Ward, Coulter, any of my people I consider my friends, man. We were friends before anything musically, and it's cool to see. First off, it's just cool to see people that you love, but people that you know have worked their asses off win. That's cool shit, man. You know, and to be able to be a small part of that, it's just fucking wild, man. It's wild, and there's a bunch of stuff coming. Some other people have cut some stuff, and it's just it's a trip, dude. It's a trip, because I'm a songwriter, but I don't look at myself as being. I have a very unique writing style. I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop at the same time as I listen to country music, and that has definitely influenced the way I put my words together. And I think that's kind of what draws some people into it, but I think that's also what turns some people away.
Yeah.
I don't put my words together like other people do. You have to actually listen to what I'm saying if you're going to like my music. And I've said that for years.
I think you can definitely see that on Jerry Lee.
That's
like
a perfect example, dude. That's
Yeah.
a perfect example. You have to listen to what I'm saying to get what it is I do. And, man, I was going somewhere with that, but I'm stoned. I forget where I was going. What were we talking about?
About like the, I guess you were going with your songs are, you have your own unique style, and
Yeah, I don't. There was a point to that. I'm sorry, man. Blame it on the weed. Maybe it should be illegalized or however you put that.
yeah.
Oh, shit, man. Brother, I've had fun doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, of
very
course.
much,
Yeah, man.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.